When you start looking at every experience in your life as something that happens for you and not to you, that's when real growth happens. When you start asking yourself, what am I learning here? What's the lesson? It lets you start to step outside of that victim mentality and see it for what it really is. It lets you step into your own frame and detach from the idea that you're not in control of the things that you're attracting to you. You can let go of blame, you can let go of resentment, and you can take true accountability. If you're already getting value out of this, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now, you want to become the observer in your daily life. And what I mean by that is you want to establish this sort of third-person perspective. If I were to go back in time and give advice to younger Casey, I would tell him to observe life like the video games that you play, because at the time, my life basically revolved around video games. When you're playing a video game, oftentimes you have sort of like a bird's eye view. You can see everything from all angles. More often than not, you see what's best for your character or your player, and you take the steps accordingly to get him there. And you're not really attached to the obstacle. Let's say the villain has some choice words for you, right? Tries to get under your skin. But like, as the player, the person controlling what's happening, you don't really care about that because you're just gonna kick his ass anyway, right? Or you don't let a particular outcome decide how you're gonna feel or react. You're actively taking back control and attracting a healthier outcome. For example, if you're dealing with a toxic parent, right? They walk into the room, you can immediately feel that energy. Especially if you're super empathetic like I am. Like, whoa, it could be just palpable, right? It could be overwhelming. If you're dealing with, you know, at least like a negative energy. You know they're not in a good mood, so you start thinking, okay, I gotta walk on eggshells. I don't wanna upset them any further. I don't wanna piss them off any further, right? And what you're doing is you're automatically making their shit your shit, when it was never your shit to begin with. You start internalizing all this, right? It's because we have a lot of programming here that was coded into us at a very early age. We have this habit of assuming that everything is about us and how we're making people feel. But when we can step outside of ourselves and view the situation for what it really is, we can react accordingly. You can say, hey, I'm not gonna play that game today. You can sit strong in your own power, knowing that nothing can make you feel any particular way. Only you can allow yourself to feel a particular way. I'm gonna say that one more time. Nothing can make you feel any particular way. Only you can allow yourself to feel a particular way. The moment you can separate self from thought is when you can truly start practicing this type of mindfulness. Your thoughts are not you, therefore they cannot make you feel anything. So when you start to observe these thoughts for what they truly are, just thoughts, you can choose to let them go and just move on to the next thing. Like literally in that moment, you can just say, you can observe that thought like, hey, I see you, I feel this, you know, particular way, but I'm just gonna let that go now. My buddies and I used to go out to bars and stuff in our earlier 20s. At that age, you feel like you have a lot to prove. At least I sure did. I felt like I had a lot to prove. And being in that mind space, right, it can lead to a lot of questionable situations. And looking back on those situations now, I only wonder how things could have gone differently if I would have been the observer in those situations. Although now I can reflect on the lesson. Those things happen for me, not to me. And when you're in this vulnerable state, it's really easy to let things escalate, right? You have a disagreement with a stranger, or maybe you get into a pissing contest over your ex-girlfriend with someone at a bar. Not that that happened to me, I'm just saying. But instead of buying in or saying, hey, I'm gonna play this game, I would look at what's really happening here. This person's issue is not that of my own. Therefore, there's nothing to take personally. I mean, I guess at that age, you sort of take everything personally. But like all good things, this practice comes with time. As another example of a situation that happened for me, and this one is not so much a social interaction, it was more of a life event, so to speak. It was something that happened that made me just want to scream out to the universe, why is this happening to me? Why me? I'm a victim of my own circumstance. We've all been there, right? It happens to all of us. I got involved in a business deal that ended up doing really well for me. It was actually really fruitful. And it was the first time that like something like this big had happened, and I was just like, I've made it, I've done it. And I won't lie, it let me get somewhat lazy, and that grew to be pretty comfortable. Life's good, right? Well, that all came to a screeching halt fairly abruptly. And it was easy to fall into victimhood. It was easy to blame everyone else. It was easy just to give up. But when I took a step back, I was able to see the lesson. I should have been positioned for something like this to happen. I can't blame anyone but myself for that. Nothing lasts forever, right? The only true constant is change, especially not something easy. Something easy is not going to be fruitful forever. If I would have had that insight, I would have been able to navigate that situation differently, handled it with a little bit more grace and poise. But luckily we have that insight now, and I'll have better insight for the next obstacle that comes my way. As an actionable step that you can take, I want you to challenge yourself to start becoming the observer in any given situation. This doesn't even have to be a situation with a toxic relationship that you've been navigating. It can literally just be a conversation with a stranger, or just some simple situation that happens during your day. I want you to look back on that, or even think about it while it's happening. Just think, what is the lesson to be learned right now? What's happening here? What's actually going on? Think of the third person perspective. Literally pretend like you're a fly on the wall, that you're someone else watching this happen. You'll be kind of amazed to see what can come out of a seemingly simple situation. So, to sum things up, remember that all things in life happen for you, not to you. The goal is to separate yourself from that victim mentality, to separate thought from self, and to become the observer in your everyday actions. Also, here's a link to 3 unconventional methods of meditation that I like to use to help practice this type of mindfulness. If you got value from this video, please leave a comment talking about your experience becoming the observer, because I'm actually really curious to hear other people's situations, and yeah, just please leave a comment. And subscribe, turn on those notifications to see more content like this. Much love.